how did you get involved in it? Because it's like somebody says, let's do a film about a book of photos and make up some characters.
Yeah.
The pitch must have been a lot better than that.
Well, part of it is that Jeff Nichols is my writing and directing partner. So we have a company together and we work together quite consistently. But I do that because I believe very much in him as a filmmaker. I think he's an extraordinary storyteller. And what's fun about the way he works, when he's creating a script, he sort of talks it through a lot. He'll think about it and talk about it, and he'll call me and tell me the story over and over. So when I first saw this book about 9 or 10 years ago, I said, "There's no story here. There's some hints at characters, and there's some incredible photographs, and there's great visuals. But how are you going to create this?" And as he wrote the story, the more he talked it through, the more I understood it too. So I was kind of a sounding board, but I was also learning to understand the story we were telling and why it mattered to me. I felt like it's a story about love and need and people coming together to create a family, and then watching what happens when that club, that family, gets so invested in that identity that they easily let astray. And I think that's really relevant to today as well.
And with that story, how did you go about choosing the actors that you wanted to bring it to life?
Oh, how lucky did we get, right? When I knew we had Tom Hardy and Jodie Comer and Austin Butler, I was like, well, we can't go wrong. It was like a perfect balance. Tom Hardy, he's, manager, we know him quite well. We sort of knew about everybody. I knew Jodie Comer through, Killing Eve. We went to see Prima Facie and were knocked in our butt, she's so good. And then Austin, actually, it was my producing partner, Brian Kavanaugh-Jones, who said, to Jeff, you got to meet Austin. And Jeff walked into this meeting and came out and was like, he's our guy. He's so charismatic. You have to understand why Kathy falls in love with him at the drop of a hat and marries him 3 weeks later, And that's Austin. He is very charismatic.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys!